So if you have been following my Instagram, you'll probably know by now. If you're not following, make sure you follow, links in the description. But Kota has finally released the lobster crease pattern, the Spiny lobster crease pattern, and you can get it on his Twitter page. So I will link this in the description as well. Make sure to go on the Twitter page. You'll see the pictures of the model and then the crease pattern. That's in high quality as well. You can also go on the drive and download it through there, which is even more high quality. This is what the tweet says. Lobster CP 104 equally belows Christmas present. If you fold now, it will be in time for the new year. High quality version. So you have got till Christmas to make the model, basically. But obviously there's no rush to make it. But the crease pattern is finally released, everybody. This is the time to actually make it. And it's going to be so much fun. It's actually really tricky as well. So this video is going to look at 3 tricky parts, or hard steps, on the crease pattern that I'm going to quickly go through to try and help. So let me see, what the first part should I do? Yeah, the first part will be right here. All these creases, it's hard to, there we go. These ones right here. So let's put that aside. I've already got it collapsed, so let's unfold it. And these are like hard steps of the crease pattern, and this is what it looks like. Now, I'm only going to do 3 parts in this tutorial, and basically show you exactly how to collapse them. Which, if you are planning to make the model, which probably everyone is, or everyone that feels capable of doing it, this will obviously help. Hopefully it helps, because it helped me. This is what I had to do in order to test fold parts to make sure I was doing it correctly. But this is it anyway. As you can see, we have multiple creases. They're all basically 45 degrees, except a few up here. Yeah, probably just these 3, the rest are 45. So we do have quite a lot of 90-degree angles, and we can tell by having this part right here. So this part here tells us the paper sinks in. So if we quickly just collapse that bit, so you can see we have the 90-degree angle, which makes that, and then the same here, and then obviously here as well. So to do this part, what I did was first of all put this valley fold in place, because this part gets tucked underneath this part right here. It gets tucked underneath here, so we can push this in first. Now this part is quite tricky to do as well. It's easy to collapse it when it's like this, but when you have all the paper continuing from all directions, it's much more tricky. So this is going to be like a quick collapse, and then you can also slow it down, or in fact I'll do it slow so you don't need to do that. Anyway, we have this. We are going to look at the top first. Now you can see here that this is valley fold, mountain and valley, and then a valley. So this part it's basically, how would you explain it? A 90-degree inverter, if that makes sense. I'll show you in a second. So we're going to push this part in. This mountain fold will line up with this valley fold and this mountain, so this should be one straight part. And you'll feel it lock in place, like that. I can automatically feel it lock in. This is what it looks like from behind. Like that. And then you're going to turn it around, and then this part gets basically tilted 90 degrees because it's flat like this. But if we collapse it, you see how it gets tilted? So we're using this valley fold to make it 90 degrees. So what I mean by is here and here. And then you would obviously make these mountain folds. Try and zoom out a wee bit. Then put this mountain fold in and mountain fold. No, it's actually so good to be able to do this. I wasn't expecting to make this video right away. I was waiting for Kota to release the crease pattern, which I knew would have been around Christmas. I just wasn't sure it would be this early in December. I was honestly expecting it to be much more later on, like basically near Christmas. Because I don't think it would have been that good for Kota to not release the crease pattern at Christmas, but again, it's his model. He can do entirely what he wants. It's his design, his crease pattern. But as you see, when we collapse this together, these creases line up like that. And then you would make this valley fold, this diagonal one right here. So once you put that in place, you will feel it automatically start to come together. Then just put in these mountain folds. Now this is probably one of the trickiest parts. I've left the hardest part till last. I think that's the hardest part personally, which you'll see in a few minutes. And then you would just, again, follow the crease pattern. It sort of swivels around. Again, you will see all this happen in my actual video. You'll see the full process. Even this part right here, I took a lot of pictures on this part, on how to collapse it. Then turn it, and then there we go. We have successfully collapsed this part of the crease pattern, which was this part right here. Now the second part we are going to do is up here. It's I think it's basically around here somewhere. Yeah, I think it's like one corner. Let me unfold it. Oops, oh yeah, I forgot I ripped it as well, so I probably can't do that side. But we have this. So it looks complicated as hell, which it can be if you don't plan this part. I ripped here, so that's quite annoying when I did the test fold. It looks really complicated, but the main thing is, it is complicated, but if you plan it correctly, then it will work. You will be able to do it, no problem. Or easier in a way. So this is what we have. Now these make the tiny little squares on the round of the body. Let me try and show you. It's hard to see, but yeah, it makes these little spikes or little indents on the actual body. As what? Not these parts, but these parts here. So you collapse these the exact same as you would the Ryujin scales. So let me see what's the best way to start. So yeah, if we look here, we again have this part, which is a continuation of this part here. So it's near enough the same. In fact, it is the same bit. So we would put this in first. It's a bit more tricky. I'll just put this in. So when you do that, the paper automatically inverts. It gets pushed 90 degrees. So we are going to do the same on this side. Nothing I can actually do on this side. No, I'm going to leave it because that's ripped, it won't work. But we have, once you do that, you'll realise it correctly uses this valley fold. And then this is a confusing bit for me. Yeah, so what I was saying, this part here was the only part I adjusted. So I didn't do it to the crease pattern, simply because it was really tricky. So this is personally an easier way to collapse. Let me just try and... So that's basically how you collapse these parts. Basically exact same as Ryujin. Of course you could shape these, but there's no need. As you see here, we have the 4 valley folds, and then the mountain goes inside. So again, we need another 90 degree angle here, 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 and then of course on the other side in order to correctly collapse this part, because we have the valley fold which hits a mountain and goes straight into a mountain fold. So let me just show you an example. So if we bring this like that and correctly use the valley folds, which is this one here, and the 4 here, and this one right here. And then we bring that over, we can fold it up. And that's what that makes. And if we do the same on this side, like that. But of course, when you do this for your actual fold, if you do it, make sure you're doing it as neat as possible, because it's really tricky. You need to get all these parts in place in order for it to correctly lie flat. Then on the back, it's just tilted like this. Like that. Let me see. Yep. Again, this was another part I adjusted as well. So if you look here, what we are going to do. Oops, zoomed not in focus. Zoom in a wee bit. So what I did was make this the mountain fold. Even though it stops here, I made it to the bottom, and then made this the mountain fold, which it is, but stopped it right here, made this the valley fold, and then these parts are the same. So this is much easier, I find. Let me just show you. So I basically, oops, I'm out of frame. So you basically need to have it all in place first. So let me just do that first. Oops, what did I do wrong here? Right. So as you see, once you collapse this, all the colours start to line up. You then make the mountain fold, and then fold this up. So you end up getting this. So automatically all pushes together. I think the way Kota did it with this, it sort of locks itself, especially with this part, because you need to sink this part under and inside here, which I tried but could not do. So in that type of situation, I adjusted the crease pattern. It doesn't make a difference. I personally think it only makes it sort of locks together, but you can easily add a wee tiny bit of glue and you're perfect to go. And then the same here. It's probably, yes, it's neater to show on this side. So this is what it is. So it gets pushed in. It uses all the same creases. You don't make any extra ones, and it still works. So that's what that does, or how I did it. Again, you will see all this in the actual video. Yep, and that is that one. So again, this is a tricky part. It's just a matter of following the crease pattern and doing your best to actually try to collapse it. Now the final part is right in the centre, probably the trickiest part, which is not that bit, right here. This part right here. Because in order to properly collapse this part, you need to collapse everything around it. So this was the very last part I did on the model to collapse, which you'll see in the video. Now let's unfold this. Probably won't be able to get this back together. Oh, just with my luck. So this is what we have. This is what it looks like. Now the thing that's quite tricky with this is we have a lot of tension folds. So that is 90-degree folds right next to each other, just like this. We have 90-degree folds, and what I mean by that is it's easy to do one. So it's basically that. Also we have the 90 degrees, but we have another one exactly next to it, which needs another 90-degree fold. So you need to try and hold this, open it up, and pull it together. So we're pulling this side down to 90 and this side right down, and then of course you can see with the creases they line up, but we'll get to that in a second. So that's probably the trickiest part, and then of course you have to adjust the creases to the crease pattern. So how to do it? We are just going to start off by making the outside creases. Then, in order to do this correctly or neatly, you need to have the paper at the right angle as well. So especially this part, like the spread, you need to bring the paper right down so you can correctly use the valley fold and then up, because if you don't, you could end up making new creases and then it won't lie flat, or if it doesn't lie flat here, you're not using it correctly. So when you come to do this part and it's not working flat, or it's not working, and then you're wondering why it's not working, because you're not using this correctly. So this, doing this part wrong will affect the rest of it, and especially here as well. These are the two crucial parts, here and here, because they all come together. So we have got this part in place. We'll come to this part in a second. Again, this is also quite tricky. We'll do the exact same on this side. Just put these creases in place. Now this is a really good thing to do if you're unsure about models, is just practice. Get the crease pattern, go on the computer, print off the part that you want to test fold, make all the creases, and then in your own time just try and collapse. It is one of the best things to do, and of course you don't ruin your own paper when you try to do this. Now we have this. I'm going to set the road. We are going to bring this paper up. We're going to avoid this part of the now. Bring this up like this, so these creases all align up, these ones right here. Then do the same on this side. Now what we want to do is make sure we have the 90-degree angle for this part here, for these two creases to line up. If you don't, you will make new creases and then it'll just go downhill from there. So make sure you do this perfectly, and it's really tricky. It's easy to get one in place, but to get the other, you really need to force the paper to try and make it work. So like this, we've got one here. This side is easier, so I'm going to try and show it on this side. So you just pull the paper down. You may need to like force the paper to try and get it in place first, and then it works like that. So we have got the 90-degree, the first two in place. Just going to bring it together, then valley fold up. We'll come back to this part in a second. Now, as you see here, let me see. So it's quite tricky to collapse this part because we have creases going in different colours, like mountain and mountain. So two sides are mountain. So this means this side gets tucked inside, and because we have mountain, mountain, mountain and valley, we need another 90-degree angle here. So we need to make this the valley fold and then turn 90 degrees. But in order to correctly do this, you also need to make a 90-degree angle here and here, and then of course extending these creases all the way down with the rest of the paper, like that. And then we're going to try and do the same on this side. Just make sure these 90-degree angles are most important. Let me just fold this down. See, we have the 90-degree here and here. And then if we fold this up, it uses the correct crease. and then we will fold this over like that. Pardon me. And you may or may not get this part perfectly flat. I could not fully. You will also see that in the video. Because there's so much happening at this part right here, it is really tricky to get perfectly flat. And then just this part right here, which again you need to make sure you're following the creases on the crease pattern, because this part's probably the most confusing. No, there's, is it not this part? No. Not sure how this part went. Yeah, I don't think I'll get this part there. Let me see. Yeah, like that. It's one of those creasy, parts where you think it's not possible to do that. It doesn't lie flat, but it does. Some parts, I think one part doesn't lie flat. I'm pretty sure it doesn't. What did I do here to get that? Can't remember what I've done to get this part. Anyway, it looks like this on that side. And this is where you end up using this valley fold. This is the last thing I did to collapse the model. Like that. And that is that. That is the 3 parts for Kota lmai's Japanese spiny lobster. I hope this video helped you. Of course, the crease pattern has just been released, so if you are making it, you're probably in the pre-creasing process or even making the grid. But this video is here to help you if and whenever you get to this part on collapsing. And of course, if you need help, just ask. I hope that's helped, and thank you so much. I'm now going to upload it, so I've just recorded it. You'll probably see this 2 or 3 hours after I upload. Anyway, that is it. Thank you so much for watching, and enjoy folding this monster of a model.